I am Saint Germain. Today I come to you without symbolic robes or alchemical brilliance, for the subject I wish to speak about is not an arcane formula nor a hidden hermetic key. It is a vibration well known among you, though rarely acknowledged. Spiritual gossip. You may be surprised I call it that, such a mundane word. Perhaps you expected something more elevated, more veiled. But it is important to speak clearly. For what I offer today is not a judgment, nor a moral correction, but a mirror. Gossip in any form is the manifestation of an energy that seeks to place itself above others. Through comparison, through the illusion of knowing more or seeing more than another. And when this energy wears the costume of spirituality, it becomes even more slippery, harder to detect, and thus more dangerous. There are many faces to spiritual gossip. There is the one who evaluates the path of others. That person hasn't yet transcended their ego. He's not really channeling clearly. She's still stuck in third-dimensional thinking. There's the one who comments on others' choices from a place of apparent vibrational superiority. If they truly knew who they were, they wouldn't be doing that. Clearly, they haven't activated their soul mission. Oh, they're still asleep. And then there is the one who disguises it as loving concern or subtle warning. Have you noticed the energy they give off? I feel like there's something dark attached to them. I don't resonate with that person, but I wish them well. Soft words, yes, but often laced with a hidden intention, to create separation. Because that is, at its core, what spiritual gossip perpetuates: separation. And all separation is born from a wound. The one who needs to talk about others, to interpret, to judge their process or their choices, is in truth speaking about themselves. They are unknowingly saying, "It's not enough to simply be who I am. I need to see myself reflected in someone else in order to feel secure in my position." But I'm not asking you to punish yourself for this. I am not inviting you to repress or to silence yourself with a muzzle of light for fear of falling into the trap. I am simply inviting you to observe. The next time you feel that energy within you, judgment disguised as discernment, curiosity masked as spiritual analysis, a need to know about someone else's path under the guise of connection, pause. Ask yourself honestly, what part of me is seeking validation through this? What unmet need is expressing itself behind this curiosity dressed up as awareness? From where am I seeing the other? From my heart, or from a mind still afraid of its own smallness? Because, beloved one, true spirituality has no interest in commentary, classification, or spotting flaws in others. True spirituality does not indulge in picking apart another's cracks, for it knows all cracks are its own too. As one ascends in consciousness, one does not become more demanding with others, but more compassionate. One does not become an expert in detecting lack, but more attuned to where it hurts. One does not become a master of vibrational analysis, but a soul brother or sister who knows when to be silent and speaks only when words are born of love. I have walked worlds where knowledge was power and judgment was currency. I have seen the wise crawling in the dust of their egos, believing themselves exalted. I have seen alchemists lost in the arrogance of their formulas, unable to look into the eyes of the beggar beside them. And I have learned that no knowledge replaces love, no perception replaces humility, no channeling, no technique, no clairvoyant vision replaces the silence of a heart that embraces without questioning. You who seek to rise, remember, all elevation without humility is an illusion of flight. And humility is not self-deprecation. It is simply the willingness to stop placing yourself above another, even when that other is falling, erring, or sleeping. Spiritual gossip is a subtle trap because it wears the mask of light. But it is not light. It is shadow painted white. It is the ego that has learned to speak of energy, chakras, soul contracts, and divine missions, yet still needs to feel superior through knowledge. But you are not here for that. You are here to remember that we are all one, even in chaos. You are here to see yourself in the other, not your opposite. To speak less about others and more with your soul. To close your eyes and listen to what lives behind each mistake, each detour, each human act that the mind finds difficult to understand. And when you find yourself no longer needing to comment, when there is nothing left your heart wants to say about someone else's path, you will have taken a great step forward. You will begin to radiate a frequency that transforms without words, heals without judgment, and walks beside others without making a sound. There is no master who hasn't fallen into this trap at some point. I have known it too. I know how seductive it can be, but I also know the freedom that arises when we stop feeding that energy. Because, beloved soul, every time you speak from judgment, from comparison, from a curiosity that seeks not to understand but to label, you weaken your field. And every time you choose the silence of love, the respect that needs no analysis, the seeing that does not interpret, you strengthen your light. So do not blame yourself. Observe, laugh if needed, forgive, and choose again. That too is alchemy. I am Saint Germain, and I remind you, true mastery is not in knowing more, but in loving more. And sometimes, loving more means keeping silent. To be silent with respect, to be silent with presence, to be silent with awareness, because it is within that silence that your true self begins to speak. And from there, every word that follows will become a blessing. Beloved one, may your words uplift. May your gaze unite. May your presence bring peace. I am with you, now and always. I am Saint Germain.